everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new HJ, welcome to my channel. For today's video, we're doing Harry Potter unpopular opinions. Now, we all know there are a lot of unpopular Harry Potter opinions out there. Everyone has different viewpoints. Everyone thinks something's good. Everyone thinks something's horrible. Everyone likes this character. Everyone dislikes this character. And I wanted to hear your opinions and then give my own. Do we match? Are we the same? We will see. So remember to like this video, subscribe, check you're subscribed. YouTube unsubscribes people. And without further ado, let's go. So I asked these over on my Instagram and over on a few Harry Potter Facebook groups. So a couple of the groups haven't put up my post yet, I don't think. So there might still be loads to come, but I can easily do a part 2 if that's what you guys would want. If you do want a part 2, hit the like button. Let's go. First one I got was from Potta Sub 1234, and it's Hogwarts has so many death traps. And I think we could all agree that is not really an unpopular opinion, but it is so true. Fluffy, the Forbidden Forest, which has got all these different creatures in it, mainly Aragog. They had Aragog in there, they had werewolves in there, centaurs are okay. They might be just a bit grouchy because they don't like humans that much. Chamber of Secrets, they knew the Chamber of Secrets was there and there was a monster there. I know they couldn't find it, but still, they let people go to the school knowing there's a monster hidden in a secret chamber somewhere. We don't know where. Will we find it? Yeah, because we can't find it, it's fine. But yeah, I agree. Hogwarts is a death trap. Why do we want to go there again? I'm surprised not all the parents dropped their kids out of that school, thinking about it now. When you come home going, oh, Harry almost died in a secret passageway. Oh, we almost died because there was a gigantic snake in the school. Escaped prisoner tried to get into the castle to kill someone. We had this horrendous tournament, Umbridge. That's a reason just to drop out itself. This next one is my sister. And she's like, I don't know how this is an unpopular opinion. Hufflepuff is actually the best house. And I mean, I think they're the best house because they're right next to the kitchens. So if you're hungry at night and you get on with the house elves, they can make you a late night snack, get you a butterbeer. But I think everyone's house, you think your house is the best house because you're in that house. And all houses are different. It doesn't necessarily mean one is the best. They all have different attributes that put you in this house. Like, they all have different attributes. But they work all together. When you think all together, they make up the one perfect person. Which would be funny if the Sorting Hat couldn't decide between all 4 houses for a hat stall. That would be like the most perfect person to attend Hogwarts. I would love to have been a Hufflepuff if I wasn't. I'm in Ravenclaw. But I would love to be a Hufflepuff. I think I'd go Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, Slytherin, then Gryffindor. Sis, you're kind of right. I'm not giving it to you. Elaine Gilchrist, I think that's how you pronounce your name, I'm sorry. She said Hermione was woefully miscast. It's weird saying I agree and I don't agree because obviously Emma Watson's the Hermione we grew up with, but obviously Hermione's completely different in the books. I do think the Emma Watson should have been the Hermione after her teeth got fixed. Like, that was the one I think we needed. The Hermione obviously with the big bushy hair and the teeth she didn't have the big bushy hair in the first film, don't get me wrong, but she didn't have the teeth. She just to everyone seems far too pretty, which I get because Hermione is supposed to grow, and then the Goblet of Fire is supposed to be like that moment when she comes down the stairs in her dress is supposed to be the moment where everyone goes, oh my god, Hermione's actually beautiful, when she was already beautiful, and I get that. So yeah, maybe, I'm not entirely sure. I get where you're coming from with that, but I may have to think about it. Charlotte Fisher said Snape was a, insert bad muggle word right here because I'm not saying it on YouTube, who didn't deserve to be forgiven. So he grieved his whole life over unrequited love. That suddenly makes it understandable and forgivable to bully children. No, it doesn't make it forgivable to bully children. He was a bully to the kids. I think it's just nature of he was bullied, so he'll bully, it's never a good thing. It's never a good thing. Did he deserve to be forgiven? Not in my case. When I think about it over, not really, because he was a Death Eater, he was on Voldemort's side, and I think this came up in another question, yes, by Katie O'Connor, so I'll combine these two, because she said Snape didn't really have a redemption arc, so because of the one good thing he did excuses all the students he abused. He apparently loves this woman so much, he was obsessed, so he bullies her child. If Lily never died, he would have stayed a Death Eater. He only switched sides because Dumbledore asked him to in favour of hiding Lily. Snape didn't care if the baby died. He wanted Lily safe. People can't separate Alan Rickman from his character, and the same goes for Tom Felton. So I agree with that to the point where Alan Rickman's just amazing as Snape, and he's an all well-rounded, lovely human being. So I think when we think about the fact that we've lost him in this world now, we all can't help but feel sorry for Snape. And when that was revealed at the end of the books that he was in love with Lily, everything just seemed to blur out. But he actually was. He was a Death Eater, horrible to kids. He just wasn't an all-round good person, but the way the world treats him, I think he thought that's how I'll treat the world back, which is never a good thing. So I am inclined to agree with those two questions combined. He did help Harry in his last moments and reveal all what Dumbledore was lying to him about, but overall, I agree. This next one came up a couple times as well on Instagram, the Emerald3. And on Instagram, Telltales UK both said that Harry and Ginny should not have ended up together. When you think about it in terms of the film, they had no chemistry, which was by all no means the actor's fault. There was a lot of stuff for Ginny left out, which showed more of her personality, showed that she was a strong woman, she was funny, she could be a leader, and those were all the things in the book that then Harry looked at Ginny and went, oh my god, I actually do like this girl, because it's his best friend's sister, so you're obviously like, I'm not getting involved with my best friend's sister. So Ginny sort of like in the book emerged to Harry as this beautiful person, this strong woman who knows how to hold her own, makes him laugh, he has a good time around her, he feels safe around her, he feels normal. Whereas in the films, there wasn't much of that. So I don't think they should not have ended up together. I think they're great together. I just think the films did a really bad job with that. The Emerald3 also said Draco should have had a redemption arc. Totally agree. We all know that scene that they left out of Deathly Hallows Part 2, in where Draco threw Harry his wand and sort of just showed they didn't want to be on that side anymore. But there was no redemption arc for him, which was sad because Draco was brought up with all these ideals in mind. It was drilled into him. You're a Malfoy. You're a pureblood. You don't like my blood. You have to be this way. You're going to be a Slytherin just because obviously it's drilled into your brain that this is who you are. So automatically the Sorting Hat will figure out, well, he's in Slytherin. You're going to grow up to be a Death Eater. You need to serve the Dark Lord. And with that being drilled into you, that then makes you who you are as a kid. But as he grew out of that, as an adult, he started to realise that everything was wrong when he agreed that he would kill his own headmaster. And then he realised, I can't do this, I can't do this, it's not who I am, I don't want to kill anybody, I'm not that type of person. Like, he did not want to do this at all, he was just doing it to gain back his family's honour and his dad's honour. And he wanted to prove that the Malfoys weren't weak. I agree Draco should have had a redemption arc of some sort to prove that he's actually not evil. But then again, it also comes back to the question of how about Snape, they can't separate Alan Rickman, and it's like people can't separate Tom Felton from Draco, and I'm inclined to agree because in the books, he's not that attractive in the books. He's actually more awful, and he's actually a mean person, and I think people just can't get past Tom Felton. I think if they cast someone else as Tom Felton, everyone would hate Draco. Because Tom Felton's a semi-good-looking bloke, everyone's like, oh, Draco Malfoy. And it's like, no, I agree, yes, Draco should have had a strong redemption arc. Hallie's Universe says Wolfstar is overrated. So if you don't know what Wolfstar is, it's the pairing of Remus Lupin and Sirius Black. Everyone likes to write fanfiction about them that they were actually a couple together secretly and all that stuff. I've never really gotten into that. Not that I'm against things like that, like obviously not. I think I read maybe one fanfiction and it was weird thinking about that. I don't know if I don't necessarily if I can comment on that because I don't really know a lot about the Wolfstar thing. I just really see them as best friends. I think I remember an interview somewhere where David Thewlis said he was playing Lupin gay in Prisoner in the film. Or I might have been making that up. I don't know. I think I saw it somewhere. I don't think I'm inclined to really give an opinion until I look more into this. I might have to look more into Wolfstar. Paul Fletcher said, Victor Crumb taking Hermione to the Yule Ball is a bit wrong. She's 15 and he's a grown man of 18. When you put it like that, it is a little bit odd. It is a bit weird when you state their ages and you put it like that. I think they just wrote that in just so Ron would start to get jealous a little bit and set up the whole Hermione and Ron couple. Because they had little moments, but then in the book when and in the film, like you can clearly see that Ron is jealous. I think he's more jealous the fact that he didn't get a date with Victor Krum.
You love Ron.
Shut up. Victor, I love you. Victor, I do.
But it's also, that's probably why they put it in to set up Ron being jealous and then feelings starting to turn between him and Hermione and then realising that they liked each other. I think that's what he was there for. Sorry, Victor Crumb. I think that's what you were used for. But yeah, I'll agree. An 18-year-old taking a 15-year-old to dance is a little bit odd. Sarah Ailey. I don't know how to pronounce your name and I speak to you on Instagram all the time. Sarah Ailey says, I don't like Neville Longbottom. Book Neville maybe a bit, but I hate movie Neville.
Or you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't.
My little Neville Longbottom, my heart is breaking. I think most people don't like Neville because he's supposed to almost be like Harry in a way, because obviously he was also going to be the chosen one. Could have been the chosen one. And yet also he's technically not an orphan, but he technically did lose his parents. And he does live with an aunt who doesn't like him. How Harry lives with an aunt and an uncle who doesn't like him. He can seem a bit whiny, and you always have to have an underdog to feel sorry for it. And then when they rise, you're like, oh my god, look at him go. Maybe that could be it. But I absolutely love Neville. If you don't like Neville, you don't like Neville. Like, we don't like all the characters. Like, there are some characters people like that I don't like. I don't mind if you don't like Neville. That's fine. We just won't talk about it. Hogwarts Homemaker, who's on Instagram, hey, says, I don't love Molly's line when she confronts Bellatrix. It feels wrong for her and the book. And then there was another one of like that question somewhere. Yeah, from Adam Hightower on Facebook. This kind of ties. Said, Molly defeating Bellatrix made no sense because it was already established that Bellatrix is a highly dangerous and defeats orders. Meanwhile, there was nothing told about Molly's past that would imply her being a powerful duelist, which is a necessary setup in the stories. Now, I think with that, yes, when you think about it, Molly's line in the film, not my daughter, yeah, but the swear at the end, but not my daughter, you bitch. It's a bit odd for Molly to say. I know Molly can get feisty and she can get angry. And then, yeah, her facing Bellatrix was odd. I always thought that was weird because you never really see them interact at all. And it's just because she's going after her daughter that she steps in, and then her having this power. I don't necessarily think there is anything about her being a strong witch. I know she is talented, like all the people normally are talented in the story. But you never hear anything about it. Going, I don't want to mess with Molly. She's a powerful duelist. Like, you don't want to mess with Molly. I think her defeating Bellatrix is like, if you literally go after someone's kid in any form, human, animal, if you go after anyone's child, you are going to get it from the mum. So I think that's where that comes from. But I agree with this opinion that it is weird for them to have faced off anyway because they had literally no interaction at all. She also said, McGonagall saying, I've always wanted to use that spell is totally out of a character. And I agree. I think they put that in the film just to give it a bit more lightheartedness, because as we all know, McGonagall can be funny, because in the books it was like, did you say this to Umbridge? He's like, yes, Professor Bitch. She's like, have a biscuit, Potter. Yeah, her saying, I've always wanted to use that spell is, I think, a bit of comic relief. I think they just wrote that in, and I think it was just a way for you to see that McGonagall does have a bit of a fun side. Jade Hobbins said, Prisoner of Azkaban is the worst book and film.
Plastic side-eye.
As we all know, that is my favourite book and my favourite movie. I'm not commenting on this. Everyone has different favourite books and different favourite movies. I don't know what it is about Prisoner. I just absolutely loved it. I think it's just because Remus Lupin's my all-time favourite character. And I would love one day to meet David Fellis and thank him for bringing Lupin to life for me. But I also have books and films that I don't like. I don't like the Half-Blood Prince movie. This book is my second favourite book in the series. What they did to it, I'm looking at the books, I think my least favourite book, maybe Order of the Phoenix, because it was massive as a kid. Getting that book, you're like, did you get me a doorstop for Christmas, mother? So I'm not agreeing with that opinion. So Sarah Whips has said, I think I've heard this one talked about before. In Philosopher's Stone, it would have been better if the trio had not gone down the trapdoor to stop Quirrell and Voldemort. Dumbledore's spells would have never have allowed them to get the stone. Because Harry showed up, Voldemort was almost able to steal it. And that does kind of make sense, how the stone was probably there for a while. Quirrell made several attempts to get it and he couldn't do it. And then as soon as Harry and all that start going down the trapdoor and start going through all the trials and things, he wouldn't even be able to get it anyway, because he saw himself holding the stone, that the one who wanted to find the stone, find it, not use it, would be able to get it. So there was really no point to Harry. If Harry knew that, he wouldn't even have bothered. The whole story wouldn't even have started. There wouldn't even be a story. But Dumbledore obviously has to keep his secrets, because if Harry knew that, he'd go blurting it out. And who would probably be around to hear him? Quirrell. So I agree with that. And she also said, also in the Goblet of Fire, when the trio is searching for a solution to let Harry breathe underwater in the second task, how did no one, in capital letters, think of the bubble head charm? It clearly isn't too difficult to cast, because in the Order of the Phoenix, all the students cast it on themselves when everyone is dropping stink bombs in the hallway. True, because Cedric used it and so did Fleur. I don't know if it's, I don't know if it's a hard spell to cast. Like, you obviously learn these charms as you go ahead. I don't know if they knew about the bubble head charm. They must have. Maybe you're not allowed to use it unless you've been taught the spell, maybe? You're only allowed to use things that you've been taught, or I'm not sure, because obviously Cedric is he a year or 2 years older than Harry? But I thought it was you couldn't use the same thing, but then if Fleur used the bubble head charm, and then Fleur's also older than Harry, so maybe you're only allowed to use spells that you know. I don't know. But yeah, like, how did Hermione not think of the bubble head charm? She's read every book. I think they wanted a cool way of bringing it underwater instead of them all using the bubble head charm. It's like, oh, let's just give Harry gills. Let's give him this plant that you can breathe underwater, and then it opens your mind to more things. I think that's why it was written that way. But I agree, like, how didn't they, or even Hermione, say, let's use the bubble head charm? Linda Franco said, Harry treated Hedwig poorly. Why did she have to suffer at the Dursleys too? She could have easily have stayed summers with the Weasleys. Harry would get grumpy and would be downright mean to her. I think he has to keep her with him. Obviously obviously she wasn't let out with the Dursleys, but in another circumstance it is easier to get mail to Harry with Hedwig. He can send letters off with Hedwig. I agree that maybe he should have asked Ron if it was okay for her to stay for a month or two at the Burrow, just so she could get out and fly for a while. But then that's also Harry's owl, and they didn't know it. There was a lot of people out there probably at that point were trying to, like, build Voldemort's rise back up and start building up dark forces again, and then obviously they would see Hedwig and try and intercept her. So I get why Harry had to keep her close, because if something happened to Hedwig, it would easily draw Harry out. So I understand maybe why he kept her at the Dursleys, but I do agree a little bit that he should have at least asked Ron or Molly, can I send Hedwig over just to fly around a bit? And last one, it's just a statement. Amy Barton says, Snape sucks. I think it goes back to my previous answers, doesn't it? Snape sucks. Let me know in the comments. Yes or no? So that was it, guys. That was my Harry Potter unpopular opinions video. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know your most unpopular opinion and I will answer it. Remember to like, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.